to show you this. And I would like to say, hello, and welcome to the 2024 Sustecorp Portfolio Forecast. It's nice to see a familiar and a beautiful face. Thank you. And I'd like to share with you what we've been up to recently. Good, next slide, please. So, my name is Hieronymous Johnson. This is my colleague, Phil Goode-Hellman.
Hello there.
Unfortunately, our esteemed colleague, Beth could not be with us today. She's come down with a pretty nasty case of food poisoning, but she sends her regards and her best well wishes for yourself and the company. Next slide, please. So, I won't beat around the bush here. We've done it. Using a combination of artificial intelligence, human biology, and good old-fashioned capitalist brains, Jules, I am proud to announce the provider. We have figured out a way to create an infinite source of the nectar of life. Mayonnaise. But not just any old mayonnaise. This is free, this is tasty, it's going to be wherever consumers want it, whenever they want it, at no cost and at infinite access. I can see you're like salivating. Wow. But you're wondering, how are we able to do this here at Sustecorp? Next slide, please. It doesn't matter. Don't think about it. Just eat your mayonnaise. So by the end of the year, we plan to replicate the provider across many fulfillment centers internationally, including some of the world's most impoverished areas. Now, I'm not saying we've ended world hunger. However, next slide, please, Phil. Thank you. So here at Sustecorp, we're all about keeping costs low to focus on innovation. So what have we done this year to cut costs by over 50%? Well, it's simple. 5-step plan. First of all, we've eliminated background checks on all inbound staff. We've cut exit packages for our executives from $200 million to $105 million. We've received $5 billion in government subsidies. Could you just...
Sorry, one second.
We've scaled back Botox allowances to employees on the 17th floor or higher. And finally, we've been thinking about this for a long time. We've replaced the fulfillment center toilets with OpenAI cubes. That's pretty good, because that's what we're all about here. Independent, inoffensive innovation. Say it with me. Independent, inoffensive innovation. That's what I'm saying. Okay, next slide, please. Sustecorp cost-cutting, miracle to some, just another day at the office for us. So market trends are currently showing that humans need food to survive. And we're responding to this with a new development that we like to call the Uber cattle. So thanks to artificial intelligence, we've figured out how to grow cows and pigs to a size comparable to that of a small yacht. Ain't she, Bernie? Okay, so...
Sorry, 1 minute.
Thank you. So, yeah, that basically means lots of delicious pork belly, succulent cow shoulder, and plenty of roasted heads with the apple in the mouth. That's going to be going around at our expo in Q3 of this year. Now, some animal rights groups are getting a bit whiny about this, so we're going to be launching a new initiative for schools starting at primary level and going the way up, and government channels starting at the PM and working the way down, which we like to call Sustecorp Yes, which is aiming to educate the wokerati on the benefits of effectively free meat and dairy products. On that note, I don't want to be a bummer, but we will address the cow in the room. There have been some reports about Sustecorp working practices and conditions that regretfully have made the news. Now, I would like to remind you that, as you can see, a lot of the time this only tends to affect A7 class members of the Sustecorp family. Do you know what a pyramid looks like, Jules? Yeah? Okay, so that's the bottom of the pyramid, so, you know. But anyway, we have a new initiative which we like to call Sustecorp. Sustecorp, these are not people, and this never happened. And that's going to help bolster our company's image. So, what's next, you're wondering? Well, we'll next see you at the 2024 Q3 Expo, held in White Lake, Michigan. What's going to be happening? Well, you'll be able to taste the fruit of the provider, you'll be able to eat from the Uber capsule, you'll be immersed in interactive experiences such as Sustecorp VR, a day on the gristle deck, and you'll finally get to taste our long-awaited products, such as dinner sauce. And I know what you're thinking, missing something, and you'd be right. After 50 years of development, I am proud to announce we have finally finished the orgasm box. So you'll be able to plug in and have fun at the expo. So I believe that's all we have time for today. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you at the expo. And we'd like to remind you, Phil, if you'd like to come out here and say it with me. We'd like to remind you that at Sustecorp, everything is perfect. But yeah, obviously, okay, so Sustecorp's not real, we made all that up.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so this is me coming out of the mirage a little bit. So what you just witnessed is a taster of our exhibition which we've just proposed at IDOC. What we've done is we've looked at the advertisement for 1p mayonnaise which we found, and we want the experience is about how companies make really low cost produce, like mayonnaise in this case, by like basically what is modern slavery and like producing really low cost goods while exploiting people. Do you want to go on to the next bit? But we want to do it by, you know, the mayonnaise machine, pretty good mayonnaise. It's like here's all the great stuff, but how no one really cares how they've done it because it's at a really low cost. So what we've done is in the actual exhibition we'll build a almost Mark II of this. This is the functional mayonnaise machine, and what will happen is you'll walk into a room with this in the middle, there'll be placards of information around it, and you'll be able to, we'll give out mayonnaise, and you'll be able to see this will hopefully just splash onto the floor. This ever cycle of mayonnaise is a bit of a statement while we give this sort of bit of what you've just seen there. It was like an experience. Do you want to carry on? Who's the audience? When everyone goes into the shops, no matter where you're at, everyone loves a bargain. You know, that's why Aldi does so well. Who doesn't go into the supermarket, go into discounts, you know, 10p pepperoni if you can get it. Who doesn't mind it, but you don't often think about where it comes from. And it's always in the news. So we're doing this, trying to show this in like a fun way, and make a statement. Do you want to carry on?
Yeah.
What inspired us? So we obviously had to look for inspiration in this. So on your left you've got Cocaine Buffet. This was artists who put a big line of cocaine on some mirrors and invited some people like Steve Jobs round who...
Well, it's like Steve Jobs. It's like Steve Jobs.
And they went into a room and basically did cocaine and on mirrors so you can see. It was quite an interesting piece. And then on the right you've got the chocolate Jesus. This was, they literally made Jesus out of chocolate to basically as a point out to commercialism and how it like manipulates religion, and it's very interesting to look at. In the middle, I Can't Help Myself, which was a machine. Can't Help Myself.
Yeah, so it's a machine that effectively is forced to constantly mop up its own discharge and dysfunction. So it got like a lot of quite emotional responses from people because it was quite a pathetic creature, sort of pointlessly mopping up its own fluid, but it's on a road to failure basically, and that got a lot of responses from people, and we're hoping to tap into the same visceral sort of nature of a sea of mayonnaise around the machine.
You know, as you were, it's like we were doing this performance while it's just slowly dripping. The hope is to completely confuse you and give you this crazy thing with something important at the centre.
Well, it's interesting because I went and pushed that underneath.
Ideally, we would just be doing it all over the floor.
Well, that's an interesting response because I was just like, wait.
Ideally, we wanted to. You worked on making the mayonnaise eatable.
Unfortunately, it's not
try it.
What can you do? It's marked.
That was a big marketing move, but sadly we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Do you want to carry on?
Righto.
Funding, obviously, if we did this project, it goes a bit further, but this one costs roughly £40 to make.
So you made this?
Yeah.
I didn't.
It was at one point an IKEA bookcase. I bought one Facebook Marketplace, but I'd encourage you to have a look around the side of it.
I'm going to.
Because it's pretty messy.
And then probably around another £60 of mayonnaise. Where did this come from? Fundraising, personal input. We've been looking at using like Instagram and TikTok to raise funds. Do you want to carry on?
Of course.
And how it's grounded in reality. Two statistics I found: 40.3 million people were trapped in modern slavery. That's very recent, and as well as that, which where talk about the agricultural sector, where in the food sector right now, reported in 1996, 1 billion workers were paid below the minimum wage. I've just found those two, so I'm reading off here, but I just wanted to ground in reality without showing too much statistics. But it is bad and it's still bad. But if it's 1p mayonnaise, you don't think about it, do you?
Don't worry though, because everything is perfect.
Yeah, everything is perfect.
Don't worry about the government, don't worry about the company, it's all fine. Everything's perfect.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
listening, Jules.
Don't you worry about me.